Okay, awesome. So depending on how this works out, it'll either go on both YouTube and ninoscorner.tv or just ninoscorner.tv because, man, I got a strike.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, so it is what it is. Just got off an interview with 107. It was pretty interesting. Lots of things to cover. I talked to him off record too about a lot of things. I was just with him in Fredericksburg with him and Jim Caviezel. They're doing a Sound of Freedom tour, and it's pretty interesting. They're getting out there trying to get, because Hollywood does not want this movie seen by any means, at any cost. So they're having to go unconventional routes to put this out there.
Okay, well, that's kind of strange because it's not. I mean, I don't think the movie is that shocking or anything.
Not to us, but shines a light on the pedophilia and all that.
Right.
Just how prevalent it is, I guess.
Yeah, it's just I mean, if you think about what Hollywood deals with, all kinds of crazy shit all the time. So, but of course, those are fiction movies. So. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, this is so we'll see. So they're out there pushing it and promoting it. We'll see what happens. I got off with Juan. When did your insight on this? Could the shocking first arrest be Trump? Could the shocking first arrest? Yeah, that's what he said. I mean, the criminal charges against him and the first arrest, look, it's a possibility. So I'm going off what I've understood.
That doesn't make any sense.
Well, obviously he'll beat it, get around it, and all that, but for optic reasons, it could happen. From what I've understood from Juan and everything, I mean, nothing would surprise me at this point in this circus, in the twilight zone that we're living in. Nothing at all will surprise me. But obviously, like Juan said, who wins, the police or the military? He's saying that that a certain faction of the military does identify Trump as commander in chief. And we're dealing with a dual presidency right now. So what's your thoughts?
Well, he's been saying that for a while. So
yeah.
And I think it's true. I mean, I do think it's true.
Yeah.
So are we starting now? And
no, I'm already recording. Yeah.
Oh, this is not a live show?
No,
this is a live show.
But depending on what we say, I'll put it on YouTube or my ninoscorner.tv.
Okay.
Which I have a lot of.
It's what I would call It's not a live show. Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't make that clear.
Okay.
So your thoughts on that?
You want to start the show with some kind of introduction?
Oh, I already did. We're going live. I'm raw and uncut. This is uncensored.
Okay, but that was the intro. All right.
Yeah, I did that already. I said we're maybe too hot for YouTube, maybe not. So we'll see how it goes. We'll plan it. I'll edit it later.
Okay, very interesting. So, sorry, do you have a question for me or?
No, yeah, I was asking you what your thoughts were about what the interview I just had with 107, which I told you about the arrest being Trump potentially. What's your thoughts on that? The dual presidency that we're dealing with right now. Yeah, what's your thoughts on all that?
Okay, well, I mean,
audits the whole thing.
I did give you a reaction already to that. Okay, so I think that's crazy, arresting Trump. That's complete madness. What can I say? If he's actually the commander in chief, he probably is immune from arrest under those circumstances. Otherwise you could lose a president in half a minute if that kind of stuff went on. So technically, you can't have your commander in chief in jail when some kind of nuclear thing happens. In theory, that's what commander in chief is all about, being in charge of the codes. So it just doesn't, that sounds bogus, but it's Juan. So if Juan says that, I have to say he's supposed to know, based on who I think he really is. I think he's close enough to Trump to know the real situation, but
you've looked into it. You've researched it well.
I've researched who Juan is. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. And, there's other people besides me doing that. So
correct.
I think it was Prime, he calls himself Prime, did a whole
Prime Minister?
show about it.
Prime Minister?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, he's cool. I know.
Show, and he laid out a lot of the, video evidence and so on. And apparently on my show, when I first introduced him and said, I would call him Juan or John or whatever. And then he answered me, but I guess his answer sounded garbled at my end. So I didn't really jump on it during the interview. And I guess Kellyanne slowed it down, and it sort of leads one to believe that that he was in a certain weird, twisted way, could have been saying he was John.
Okay.
Or John Kennedy, as he prefers to be called, I hear.
And a lot of people has reservations about that. A lot of people don't listen to him because they feel that he misled people in that manner. A lot of my audience says that.
Who misled? Who misled who?
That Juan had people believing he was John Jr. for a long time, and kind of built his following on that. And a lot of people are mad about that. My audience, but.
Well, he never, in all fairness to him, he never admitted he was JFK, John.
Right, and he never said anything to me when I came out and said, hey, he's not JFK. Robert David Steele said the same thing. I think maybe you have as well. People.
No, I actually, I've actually said he was JFK.
Okay, you did.
In so many words. When I introduced him, I gave him, I said the different names I would call him, and he said he'd like to go by Juan. That doesn't answer the question one way or another, but it doesn't say he's not that person.
Right.
He doesn't say, why are you calling me that? I'm not that person. He doesn't say that. There's a lot of circumstantial, I don't know what kind of evidence you would say. One of the reasons is because if you study his voice cadence, I did some research around all this. Disguises, how convincing they are. I talked to intelligence agents that I know and got their feedback. I even talked to Sean David Morton. And I asked him, because he says he's actually done it. He's worn like one of those facial disguises like apparently Tom Cruise wore in a Mission Impossible movie.
And I can attest to that because Jim Caviezel has told me about people like Mel Gibson who go into the bathroom, 5 minutes later, they come out as a different person, completely different. And it looks real.
And it's very convincing. And I've gotten more than one person to testify on this, but I've got intelligence agents who do this for a living to testify. And what I've heard, okay, now this is just one in particular did say they thought that because of mannerisms and things like that, that a family member would know that they might not be able to deceive them. But Sean said you could deceive them. So that would lend one to believe that Sean's actually done that. Okay, and Sean has a lot of intelligence agents behind the scene that do give him information. So they would have told him what to do in order to, carry it off. Obviously, he has done that. So, because he told me he did. So, that then you have to go to all of the litany of information that he's put out there, and then you have to take his voice. And I was told by an intelligence agent that the voice is the most unmistakable, very difficult to fake signature that you have, the way you speak. Even when you change your accent, apparently, and your, whatever, it's very difficult to speak in anything but your signature way.
You're freaking me out right now. Or are you going to say that you're freaking me out? Are you going to say that maybe he is?
Yeah, because they've done a test
Oh my
on
God.
it. They've done tests on it. And they said
on
you have
Juanito.
to you can even do it your own test. I mean, but they've done more.
But I've seen him in person like you have.
I published that. I know, but let me just tell you about that. So,
Kerry, you're freaking me out. Go ahead.
I'm in touch with him too, and I kid him all the time about this. Okay, I'm always, pulling his name. Okay, let me just tell you. If you go listen to John F. Kennedy Jr. when he was young, and listen to his voice, and listen to the way he does his pauses. He goes, he goes, he always does the same. He even tells a story in the same way. I mean, it's eerie. So you can say, okay, well, there's a lot of different ways to wrap your mind around this. One, he went into disguise as this other guy. Now, the other guy may still be living. He may be, you know, staying under the wire for his own reasons, or he could have died and nobody knows. You know, there's a lot of, but he based it on a real person, apparently. Okay, so that's where the trail gets very confusing. And I think, see, he's done lots of disguises. Apparently, he's a master of disguise. He's been, you know, he's been Fusco. You've seen all those pictures, I'm sure.
Yeah.
He's been supposedly the bald secret agent that was in Trump's group, being a secret agent guarding him. He's been some other people as well. I can't, you know, remember exactly who. And the bottom line is, if you look at Kellyanne's evidence, she actually shows him doing, now I don't know if this is true because I don't know Morse code, but she said he was doing Morse code with a pen on paper, and that's in Prime's video, okay, where he's going some kind of Morse code.
That's crazy. I'm sorry, I'm listening to you, and this is just blowing, because now I'm freaking. Well, now it's like, this could be true. This could be, yes.
I mean, I know people are going to think I'm crazy. So
no, I don't. I don't think you're crazy. it's just a lot to digest right now.
Well, look, I know he's alive. I mean, that much I am absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
And there's two excellent psychics who agree with me. One is, what's her name? I forget her name. Sorry. But okay. Anyway, two very good psychics who are also right on, and my information matches theirs all the time. So, you know, and I didn't even know that they had said anything until after I knew. I had this special set of dreams in April a year ago in which I was with Trump and JFK Jr. And that's the one in which I looked eye to eye with JFK Jr. in my dream. I've never done this before to anyone. And I said, I'm so glad you're alive. And I, like, we were looking right into his eyes. So I have to say that was part of that dream, but it was a dream more real than this. So I've had, then a year later in April, recent April, I had another set of dreams, and they go on all night long. It's a very strange thing. Okay. It's never happened to me before. So, you know, I'm not a person who dreams about presidents or stuff like that. But in the one I just had, it told me, he told me how he did his disguise. I know that sounds, you know, crazy.
No, it's not.
And it was a dream more real. And I actually texted Juan, you know, saying that, you know, in the morning when I woke up, like before I even thought of anything, I just said, oh my God, I just dreamed you are JFK Jr. And he said 2 other people had the exact same dream that week. Okay. Do you understand? He didn't tell me who they are, but he did actually copy one of the dreams that one of the people had. And I don't know if I'm supposed to say what it is, but it's actually, I mean, I don't, you know, he didn't say, oh, this is secret, don't tell anyone. He just said, the person, other person had that dream. There were 2 more, but this one, actually, he copied what they told him. And in their dream, which was not the same as mine, except in the gist that said, they saw him driving in a car. I'm not going to do any descriptions, even though they were there. He was driving in a car with this guy, you know, Wayne, who he's supposed to be impersonating. Okay.
Yes.
And they were talking to each other, and the person who had the dream would ask them a question, ask JFK, I guess, or someone a question, and they would look at each other, and then they would answer. Like both of them would answer the question or some such thing. Anyway, so, and it was actually, you know, quite a stunning dream, although mine was better.
Wow.
Mine went on all night long.
So okay. So you will go on record saying you believe he is JFK?
Yeah, I'll go on record saying that. I've already said it, I think.
Whoa.
But let me just say this, okay? I understand that this disguise thing. See, I wrote to him and said, look, if we can figure it out, if this is out, and this has been out before I'm talking about it, okay? Kellyanne and Prime did it. Kellyanne did it before me, which I didn't even know about because I didn't even follow her channel. Apparently, she's been reporting this for a while. I don't know that she's reporting. Yeah, she's reporting that Juan is JFK Jr. So not only is JFK Jr. alive, she's been, in her sort of this kind of fun way of diving into, numbers theory and comparing, like Q sayings and this and that. And I have to say, Juan is one of the members of Q, John Jr. I always said, ever since the beginning, I've said.
I agree with that.
And I get psychic stuff. Like when I get it, it's not like I think about it. It's there. And either it doesn't matter if I like it, I don't like it. I don't conjecture. I don't get conjecture. I just get exactly, whatever it is, good, bad, indifferent, whatever it is. So it's not like I can massage it. It just is. So she did it actually. And then these other psychics, God, I can't remember how you pronounce her name. So it starts with a U. So everyone will know. She's very well known. She apparently did it since 2018, which I had no idea about, and made a very important video when she first kind of realized. She didn't say that Juan was, okay, neither of those two psychics, to my knowledge, okay, because I don't listen to their stuff all the time or anything like that. I just happened to stumble on them. And then this other psychic, JCK, she also has had a whole lot of stuff about JFK Jr. being alive, but neither one of them seems to have talked about Juan being JFK. So it's just me, Kelly, Prime, and some other people out there that have talked about Juan being JFK Jr. So, but like I said, there's the voice thing. So really just do it.
His voice, no, I will say you that it's eerily similar. And the way their speaking patterns are the same.
It's just so similar. It's just, I don't know. I just, of course his voice is deeper. It's more coarse now.
Understandably.
And yeah, I mean, he's a lot older, so whatever. There's other things. I mean, the guy drives these hot cars like, they're falling off the assembly line right into his hands. I mean, yes, he has to come from money of some kind, right?
Right, right. He sure does have
so
a
he's
lot
got
of it.
this Howard Hughes bass. It was in his movie, where he just pulls a car off an assembly line type thing. I mean, that's so Howard Hughes. Who else would be able to pull something like that off? Of course, JFK Jr. I think he desperately wants to be known. Otherwise, I wouldn't even be saying this on the show. What I was trying to say before is that if we can figure it out, the intelligence agencies already know. And they have the software, the hardware to determine, like on other means than psychic. And of course, they're going to have plenty of psychics, remote viewers that work for them that can also weigh in on this. But obviously, they're not going to tell us, but they will know behind the scenes.
Have you ever seen that movie Ace Ventura?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Well, he grabs Ray Finkel. The girl starts grabbing her hair and move because this is really Ray Finkel. Starts trying to rip off her head because she's wearing a mask. I'm gonna do that to Juan when I see him. I'm gonna grab it, start moving, try to pull up. This is crazy, but you're right. His voice is so eerily similar, and they're speaking everything.
Well, okay, let me tell you something about his physicality. Okay, I met him in person too. Okay, and I thought I was ready to accept that. Look, I was wrong. The guy's not, he's got a different, physicality. He looks. I don't want to insult him.
How tall is he? I mean,
he looks overweight, right? Doesn't he look slightly overweight?
I mean, he looks like he's living a good life, and he's not like he's not fat by any means, but he got a little belly.
No, but whatever you call that, okay?
Yeah.
Middle-aged, overweight. So I thought, no way is JFK Jr. going to have that, right? I think it should be out there, okay? Because I think there's a lot of different things. So the initial reason is to protect his family. The trouble is the people that would threaten his family are not us. We're the people that love them. Okay. We love all of them. Right. So it's not, if you don't tell us who you are, that's not protecting your family. That's not an issue, right? Because we're not the threat. The threat is actually the intelligence agents. It's the secret government. The secret government knows more than we do. So they're already going to know. He was in a witness protection program. The story goes, this is not me. This is just out somewhere. that
fascinating. This is fascinating. Go ahead.
in the UK's witness protection program, as it
Okay.
happens, that they all went into that. You know, and I have a graphic that I made of the UK witness protection program image that on one of my shows, I forget which one, where there's like, you see a guy in a hoodie facing the beach, right? So his back is to you. That's the UK witness protection program. Anyway, and apparently, you know, that's a certain unique way of doing it. But the thing is, you have to think, see, I do a psychological profile, okay? And what I said to myself is, here's this young man who his whole world is being destroyed. Hillary, okay, right before he disappeared, Hillary threatened him in no uncertain terms.
Yeah.
Okay?
She was going to kill him.
That's documented.
Yeah.
Okay. So at that point, knowing what I know about Hillary, her links to the cabal and to back in the day, Bush Sr. and so, that's probably like telling him to his face, they're going to kill him. Now, at that point, you also have to understand that even back then, he could have even known when he went to the meeting with her. Maybe the meeting was like the coup de grace to find out if there was some, you know, if he could negotiate with her, so he backs out of the race, so they won't kill him, and he has to sign something saying he'll never run for office again. And maybe he said, maybe he didn't do it. You know, this is hypothetical.
Right, yeah.
People don't go crazy. I'm just saying that when he left that meeting, he must have known, and they even said he looked very shaken. So the idea is that his whole life, his beautiful George magazine, you know, the danger, so-and-so, they had plans. They were supposed to fly to Martha's Vineyard, all that kind of thing. Well, at that point, you know, he has access to all kinds of secret agents and people that are part of the, you know, what we call the military white hats, the Q team, et cetera. He's going to get somebody, he's going to have some confidant who gives him, you know, we can stage your death, no problem, let's do it. But you have to know that you're going to have to disappear. You
Hold
and
on.
Carolyn and her sister.
Even the book, The Kid by the Side of the Road, I mean, the fact that he's making it so elaborate, it's so beautifully done.
Who would write that book except him? Who would have the
know.
dream? Now, remember, if you read the dream is a unique dream. It's the kind of dream that a kid who went through what he went with his father would have. Not some, you know, nondescript guy named Wayne who was a private eye and all this kind of stuff, okay? So I'm just saying, you know, there's psychologically, what I'm trying to build for you is a psychological profile of why such a guy going into witness protection wouldn't stay there. There's no fucking way he would stay there, okay? Because he has a mission in life. He even stated it. He stated it publicly. And he wasn't a young man at this point. I mean, he was, you know, 35, sort of young man, but he's smart enough.
And Juan's age adds up.
And he put clues in the last George magazine. Don't forget. You must have heard that, right?
Yes. Can you say them again? I remember that.
No, I don't have them in front of me,
Okay.
you know, but I didn't see, because I'm more of a psychic intuitive, I don't, external information, it can be useful. Like, okay, let me just finish. So psychological
How
profile.
nicely done this is. It's a beautiful
This
book.
guy, who is he?
How would you know
He's
this?
the kid by the side of the road that
Right.
saluted his father. That's who he is. Hello. And he's right. We are all those kids side of the road. Okay. That's his innocence. Right.
Golly.
So
I want to call him right now.
no, I mean, he'd probably have to
That's
deny
insane.
it. Look, I'm just saying. So if you want to look, I mean, I just told him this, but the bottom line is, why does he keep buying these hot cars? You can't, if you really were incognito and wanted to stay incognito and off the radar, you wouldn't go around in a red Lotus. For God's sake, you have to alert all the fucking police and everything.
Yeah, he just took Jim to go look at brand new Corvettes, Shelby Corvettes or something. That's crazy.
And he just bought what did he buy? A Lamborghini or a?
Yeah, he has an Aston Martin. He has a.
He just bought the Aston Martin, I think it was.
Yeah.
And it's red. It's also red. Okay, now what is the story here? So what I say is that this is a young man who has a mission, who also, look, he was an actor. He actually was trained as an actor, Okay, even though he didn't actually, he was an actor in college. Well, so was I. I mean, I was an actress. So I understand the mentality. When you want to connect with the public, it's like you can't stop yourself. You are so desperate because you're a communicator. You want to reach out to the public. Well, this guy, whoever you want to call him, is a major communicator. He cannot bear not to connect with the world.
You're right.
Okay? So you can't put a guy like that in witness protection. That's number one. So the disguise thing is perfect because there's a whole litany of when he was young and when he was avoiding the paparazzi. He had to do disguises, and they even said he disguised himself as a woman and rode a bike right by them, and they never even knew.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
What do you think about his blood ring or whatever that is on his pinky? What is that?
I don't know.
Does that have any significance?
I don't know, but I'll tell you some. His hands are a giveaway as well. So
are they
dead giveaway?
Yo, you're creeping me out. God, this is crazy.
He's left-handed.
Is he?
Juan is left-handed like JFK Jr. Yeah, absolutely. And you just watch him on those videos. You can watch him. And his thumbs are kind of, different. They're not, they're a certain signature kind of thumb. So the thing is that you can tell by the hands. So I think the hands are really hard to disguise. Okay, it is, even if you wear a disguise. Now, let me tell you what happened when I met him in person.
Okay.
I told this already on a show, so I forget which show, but so it's not new, but if you didn't hear it, I said, when I saw him, I thought he looked strange. I mean,
okay.
My apologies to if he really is.
No.
My apologies.
Oh, God.
I thought he looked
He's gonna really be pissed if that's the truth.
I'm just telling you. No, I'm just being honest as an intuitive.
I'm sorry, I'm a little excited right now. This is crazy.
I thought he looked strange. Okay, I thought his face looked stretched. That's all I can say.
What?
That's what I thought. Okay, like if you pull your cheeks like that, and if they had, I don't know if he shoots it up with, something to make him puffier or what. He had to completely change his appearance. Now, I heard from someone that
So it's not like a mask. It's like real flesh?
I have no idea. Look, I did check into this, though. I checked into people like Sean, and they said it's incredible. And I just got recent testimony on that as well. I don't understand how these can be so good, but that's what they say. Okay.
Well, Jim has told me. Yeah, I can vouch for that. He has said to me that these, you will never even know they're the same person. That's how good these are.
Well, look, isn't Jim Caviezel riding around in his car right now with him?
Yeah, they're together right now. And I just met him in Fredericksburg.
Now, let me say something because, so call it a coincidence. He has tons of Hollywood contacts. Now, who would have that if he was just some detective guy in the middle of the desert?
I introduced him to Jim.
No, he's got tons.
But I know he does.
Let me just tell you that I'm not going to, there's certain things he's told me. So
this is crazy.
He has all the, and in my dream, now, I could be wrong, okay? It's possible to be like, maybe he's supposed to be, let's just pretend that this is not true, that he's actually, this guy is somehow taken on his life in certain ways because he's written this book that only a JFK Jr. would write.
Yeah, the book is very telling.
He's adopted his speech patterns. He's got all these hot cars and tons of money, God knows how. I'm just saying, take all those things and just pretend that this is this guy. Okay, so what did he do? So this guy's job, he got hired by the CIA or an alphabet agency, and he's supposed to be the red herring to chase you away so that you don't know that while JFK, the real JFK Jr. is over here doing something else. Yeah. And maybe gets coached every other week or something by JFK Jr. I mean, you can make a lot of possibilities in your head. But it's kind of like, the KISS option, keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
If you want to do that, then if you add up all these things, plus me and two other people having the same dream in the same week, fucking weird in April, Was it mind control? Well, maybe. At this point, I have no idea. But I have to say that it was after that Prime came out with compiling mine, Kellyanne, and other information that points in the direction that he's the same guy. Okay.
Well, also in his movie, The Called, like so much pointing back to the JFK assassination in the movie. You know,
Well,
remember when
not only that, but what kind of secret agent makes a movie about themselves if they want to stay secret? So think about this, the psychology of it. No secret agent is going to make a movie or have a movie made, you know what I'm saying, in which he stars in it from the knees down. That's only, I'm no offense, but I worked in Hollywood for 20 years, so I understand. And I've been an actress. I studied all of that. I have been in a few small things, nothing big. Whatever. And I'm the mentality. I understand the psychology of it. And I have to say that if you're going to star in a movie about yourself, and you're going to think that all you need to do is show it from your knees down in your boots. Okay, well, that's kind of a cool idea. And I'm sure that was the filmmakers' maybe idea. Like they probably were trying to say, she's probably going, she probably knows. Okay, but anyway, she's going, yeah, you got to make a movie about this. And he's like, well, I can't show my face. And she probably, she's really smart. Forget the filmmaker's name. And maybe she thought that his boots are so cool and he looks so cool when he's walking around. He totally looks like, and by the way, I forgot to tell you that they're both about the same height, 6'1", 6'2".
Everything if I've never have met him in person, everything you're saying is 100% believable.
I know.
I mean, seriously, but I met him in person and I just don't understand the technology. But then again, I can't get past his voice. I can't get past this. I can't. Right. There's a lot of things I can't get past, and that he's left-handed. His demeanor, everything he does, is just like JFK Jr. Exactly, and I will go on record saying that. Yeah, I mean, gosh, I just.
I think I think he's a brilliant actor. I think I think he merged. Look, things do happen when you're an actor and you play a part. If you get so into your part, you actually become that person, and you forget who you are. And actually I was told by an intelligence agent that that's actually dangerous. So what he's actually doing is psychologically dangerous to do, because he plays that guy so much. He said it can be actually screw with your head. Okay. So that guy becomes like his alter ego kind of thing. And, when he's going to come forward, which I think he is, I think it's all part of the scenario. And, I think Diana's still alive. I think a lot of these people are alive. Okay.
Yeah.
This stuff. I'm not the only one to talk about it. Diana is married to Trump and she's playing Melania half the time on the stage.
That's what Jim says too. But this sounds so crazy.
I know, but
that's the same thing.
Okay, let me tell you something else that's really fun.
Do it.
Second edition of Juan's book, he's got a picture of supposedly Melania in that dress. I think it's Diana. It's his tribute to Diana. It's, hello.
With that dress?
Yeah.
What's the dress mean to you? He told me what the dress means.
She wore it on a very symbolic occasion. I'm sorry, I don't remember what it is, but it has these, it's like these lights. I think
this is probably the craziest interview I've ever done, and I love it. Love it. This is insane. You're like convincing me. I mean, I'm not trying to do that. I'm just saying. But everything you're saying.
I love this guy. I think he's fabulous.
Right. And then
I really think he's like this incredible patriot. What has he lived through? If he really, let's just hypothetically, if he really is that guy, can you even imagine what he's lived through between then and now?
Here's another
thing. All the brilliant stuff that he was part, according to him, I don't think he's lying when he says he was part of the takedown of the Soviet Union. He was, obviously went and got some training to become like, I don't know, a secret agent or to understand, because he definitely, believe me, he understands that world. He also understands the occult. He also is an expert in numerology. He's a Bible fucking expert.
He also, and he never flies anywhere.
He doesn't?
What
Well, I think he has a private plane. Sorry, but
no, okay, I'm sure he does. Obviously, why would he? He has all the baddest cars in the world. Why would
he
he
just borrows people's planes? You know, I'm not so sure. He actually says he was flying before COVID, but right now I don't think he's flying. Anyway, that's not what this was supposed to be about.
No, but this is awesome. See, that's why I don't like anything scripted. I like everything raw and real, because we go off, we go wherever the interview takes us. And that's what my audience likes. This is amazing. This is one of the greatest interviews. I think, gosh, you got me thinking a lot now. And it's like,
See, I think the psychological profile is even more convincing than things like the Morse code, the boots, the whole thing. But so psychologically, again, you have to say to yourself, a celebrity would do that. A celebrity who wants to connect with the public would make a movie about himself, talking the whole time, and and take you across the United States to during this momentous event of the Capitol. So it's because the reason I say a celebrity is because people don't realize what being a celebrity, you're a semi-celebrity, I'm a semi-celebrity. I don't know what you call us, whatever. I get recognized in, the most bizarre wilds of wherever, airports, strange places, right?
Yeah.
The thing is that because I've worked in Hollywood for 20 years, I also interacted with celebrities all the time. And I can tell you, I worked at the top levels, as an executive assistant at the top levels. Then I, worked in development in various ways. So what I'm trying to say about the mentality of a celebrity is that you get used to it. You get used to people recognize you. You think of the world as, in a sense, your family. You don't have an issue with meeting people or connecting with them. You want.
No, that actually with me and with boxing, that's how it was for me. Everywhere I went,
and you want to be, but don't see. I don't know how you feel, but this is what happens: is if you're not connecting to people in a public way, as once you've gotten into that, that's your service to humanity. Then you feel like you're doing something wrong if you stay secret too long. If I take too many days off, I start feeling guilty.
That's why I started making these videos, because I was, also, you got to remember, I was in the public eye fighting on television, this and that. And then
right, there you go. So you understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm saying is what's motivating him. How many interviews does the guy do? He's always out there. He's like become this like incredible celebrity, even in spite of himself. Okay. Seriously.
Golly.
Really. I mean, it's just it's in his DNA. It was in his father's
Kerry,
DNA.
I can't deny the fact. His mannerisms, what I've seen from JFK Jr., his voice, the way he talks, the knowledge he knows, the kid by the side of the road, the cars he has. Yeah. It all adds up. It all really does add up.
It does. It really does. It really adds up. That's what I'm saying. So, and one other thing, for what it's worth, awesome I don't know, you're going to think I'm crazy, but at one point I was late to a screening that weekend and he was sitting on an aisle, and I was walking by him to go join a bunch of people, and I just patted them on the shoulder, just like saying, hey, like that. And I just walked by, except that the shoulder wasn't like a shoulder. I know it's weird. And
no, go ahead.
Okay, I'm not going to trip out on this, but I have to tell you, it was like it had a lot of padding in there.
I've noticed
because
that too.
How else is he going to come off with this physicality and be convincing? And it must be exhausting. I mean, I think he's really exhausted at this point. I think he's kind of sick of it. I think he wants his face to be out there. I mean, he was a drop dead gorgeous guy when he was young. I think he's probably good looking still. I know there's been some pictures that try to approximate what he looks like, right? So I don't know what he really looks like. Now, I did hear that one of the psychics thinks he might have gone so far as to get what do you call it, cosmetic surgery.
Yeah.
Now, I pray that he didn't, okay, because he had one of the most beautiful faces, I think, ever.
Yeah.
Okay,
He's a handsome
that's
man,
just
you're
my
right.
opinion. As far as
Yeah.
men go, that's my opinion. But
Yeah.
I think his mother would not like it. Okay, I know that's kind of crazy, but she's been, she's a huge influence in his life. Don't forget.
Yeah.
So she was like his best friend. And I just can't see, I mean, I know she just wouldn't like it. I think that would just, I know she's passed on and all that. But I think that,
You think that's where the Juan O for Jackie O?
I never thought of that, but that's a good one.
Juan O saving maybe.
That's
Jackie
great.
O.
That's excellent. Yeah. No one ever said that.
I've always.
But so just saying, I don't know, whatever you want. So we can go into this other topic. I thought you were going to ask me.
I like just this. I like where this went. I do. I think this is cool. I think this went in a really cool, unexpected direction.
I'm sorry, Juan. I had no plans for this. Okay, he just started asking me, so I don't know what to say.
I'm glad it happened. I'm glad it happened. So thank you, Kerry. I mean, this is the direction.
I'm already so notorious, people. But whatever. I mean, it's not like it's kind of been sort of out there.
No,
so
people want to know. People want to know.
I just don't see anyone doing the psychological profile that's so obvious. That's where it gets really obvious. Okay. Take away the psychological profile and, anything could go any which way.
Next time I see him, I'm doing the Ray Finkel. They even move, grabbing him. What's it? Dang, this is insane. Oh, boy. Wow, this is awesome.
But you got to understand, Trump and he were best friends when they were young.
Right.
If this whole Q thing, they freaking thought this up. This is like this genius plan that is so extensive and so deep and involves so many celebrities who have been killed but are really alive that they could trot out, that in other words, this is massive. Okay, this kind of like plan they have. So if you put those two guys in, and they're not the only ones, obviously. They're not the only masterminds behind Q, but they're definitely, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, some of the time when, at least in text, he texts me, he acts just like Q in texting.
Yeah.
He texts me the same kind of little, he loves to say little, because you're
right.
I'm like a straight shooter.
The only reason I'm like, I just dismissed it was because I met the guy and I looked at him and go,
I know.
Not JFK.
I'm the same way. Look, I was ready to just say, no, sorry, this guy, no way. But then it kept bothering me. After I left that Vegas, it kept bothering me. And I told a friend, I said, look, you can't say this to anyone, but I told her that I thought he was in disguise. And then, months went by, and then all of a sudden in April of this year, I had another series of all-night dreams. And this time it was literally that. Okay. I had no plans to have those kind of dreams. I never even had those kind of dreams. They're like, there's only very few times in my entire life when I had dreams where I wake up from the dream and I am convinced, I mean, this time was so strong. I was like, no, I'm not coming back in this reality. It's not real. I'm going back there because that's where JFK Jr. is, and he's alive and he's real and he's 107. And in that version of reality, it's real. So I was like, no way am I fucking coming into this reality. That's how I was. I was like so freaked out when I had to wake up. I couldn't believe it. Totally freaked out. So
man, this is
either my mind was playing tricks or the ETs are fucking with me, which is not out of the question, or who the fuck knows, or some mind control thing they were trying to, do, whatever. So it's just,
all adds up. It all adds up.
It does add up. That's the thing. It does add up. Now, like I said, there are alternative explanations, if you will, but none fit as well. I am telling you, psychologically, it's on it so completely. It is dead on it. There's nothing right. There's no thing to go, well, oh, Juan does this, or he hacks like this, or he would never say this. No way. This guy, he's adopted, JFK Jr. Call it what you will. He's, that's what's happened, because he's so completely on it. Even his signing of his books. Okay. Remember at Vegas, were you there when he signed his books?
Yeah, right here, look.
I didn't even get a signed book because I was like, come on, duh. I figured maybe someday I'd get one. Since then, he's now released the second edition, and he's got a third one coming out. He's like a kid. He's so happy. Why? Because this is the return of George magazine. This is him publishing. Don't you get it? Like a beautiful, because his baby was torn from him in the most dire of circumstances overnight. You understand how this is going full circle, and the popularity of the kid at the side of the road? That's just, got to be such a return for him, such a incredibly heartwarming, affirmation that even when people don't know who he is, he's got our hearts. You see that? That's amazing. I think it's amazing.
Well, let's end this here. Kerry, you're awesome. I mean, this is just, I don't want to go any more into anything else. I'm going to leave this just where it's at, and for people to take it. It was an amazing interview. This was so insightful. Thank you. Like, this went in such an awesome direction. So I think, no, really, this is awesome.
All right.
No, let's just not try to let's just try to leave it at that. And then
fine.
Let the audience decide for themselves. And let me tell you, when I see them next time. So thank you, Kerry. It's always an honor to have you on my show. You're one of the first people in my awakening that I watched coming up when I was in training camp. I used to watch your shows. I've always loved Project Camelot. So where can people reach you or find you now?
Okay, everything's on my website, projectcamelotportal.com, and we're on odyssey.com. That's where most of my video library is there. It's completely free. The recent videos are basically subscriber based, and that's where we ask for $3 a month. It's less than the price of a latte. I hope my work is worth it. And, I'm churning out the videos I'm doing this week. Let me just announce, though, that, there is this, and I can't pronounce his name, Luke, whatever his name is. He's a doctor. He's the top virologist, and he won the Nobel Prize for virology. Okay. He has said that the vaccinated people, very sorry to say this, but he said it, and turns out he worked with Judy Mikovits. Okay. And he said they're going to die within 2 years. Okay.
That means my dad got vaccinated.
Okay. Now I don't agree with him. Okay. Let me just say that I know, how dare I go up against the top virologist in the whole fucking world, but I have to say that there's an extenuating circumstance that he may, and I'm going to find out if he's aware of it and talk to Judy about it. So on my show on Thursday at 1 p.m. Pacific time, I'm having Judy Mikovits, who worked with this doctor. Okay. And I just don't have his name in front of me. And Luke is his first name, Dr. Luke, whatever. And Montagnier, I think Montagnier, maybe you say it, actually, and Dr. Robert O. Young. They're going to be on my show, those two, and they're going to talk about what Luke has put out there in the last, I think it's the last week or few days. There's statements, there's a video in French. Part of it has been translated, not all of it, at least. We need the whole video translated. So if anyone can find the video and translate the whole thing, that would be helpful. If anyone can contact that doctor and get him to come on a show, that would be awesome.
I agree with you on this.
The science is saying that that's what's going to happen, that within 2 years. Now, he's not the only one. A lot of people, Judy Mikovits herself did say, I've got other doctors that have said similar things, that what's this concoction? What is in these? And he said it didn't matter which shot you got. So it's not some are safer than others. They're all messing with your immune system in such a way. And so just to be aware, I'm doing a show on it Thursday. So.
Well, thank you, Kerry. I appreciate this. But when you say words like vaccination or any, you know, it's hard to put on YouTube, but I'm still going to go for it.
I'm sorry. Did I say that?
Yeah,
I don't think I actually said that.
But it's okay. I mean, I'll try to put it up. Maybe I'll put it up for a few hours and take it down, get a bunch of views on it, and then throw it over on Nino's Corner.
Yeah, or you can just split off this little part that I talked about that in and just leave the one up there, because they don't care about me talking about Juan, right?
Are you still on YouTube, right?
No, I mean, I have a floating channel, but I can't access it. They won't let me in.
Yeah, that's
and it's got 29 videos. I mean, I have over 1,000 in my video library.
No, I remember how big you were on Project Camelot.
But now it's on Project Camelot. We have a Project Camelot media library. You can watch them there, and that's where you're going to find the most recent ones. And then we're still in a transition phase. God knows there's all these technical things going on when you do this kind of thing. But my webmaster, I think, is doing the best he can. I think he might still need some more technical help. But bottom line is they're on Odyssey as well. So we're in two places, okay? And there's still some residual ones on BitChute and on Rumble.
All right, Kerry, thank you very much for joining me, and for absolutely, this will be on ninoscorner.tv, and I'm going to try to throw it up on YouTube. So, Kerry, once again, thank you so much for joining me.
All right, thank you.
All right, God bless.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.